The legendary G-Body sold under 5 different GM brands, but one brand got left out. Do you know which one? There were 12 different models and 26 body styles. I'll show you all of them. I'm also going to explain 5 reasons why the G-Body platform makes a great performance car today and 4 weaknesses it has that need to be upgraded if you want it to really perform. Plus, we'll check out 8 special and rare G-Body editions from the 70s and 80s, including one with this crazy shifter, and you won't believe how it works. Let's start with Chevrolet. Chevrolet had the basic transportation Malibu for practical buyers, and the Monte Carlo was more for entry luxury buyers. The Malibu was cut short and replaced by the front-wheel drive Celebrity in 1983, but the Monte Carlo, El Camino, and even the GMC Caballero were made all the way up until the G-Body's end in 1987. One of these G-Body models I'm about to show you was the best-selling car in the US in 1981 and 1983. Can you guess which one? Let us know in the comments. Answer will be at the end of this video. Pontiac, in my opinion, had the most conservative and boring designs. As you'll see later on, it didn't change that much over the years. I should say right up front that GM made around 8 million G-Bodies from this era, so prices are super affordable for these basic models. And it's sometimes hard to keep track of all the different models and designs. Coming up, I'll show you the front grille for all of them to help you tell them apart and to pick the one that you like. Before we get into the Oldsmobile and Buick G-Bodies, a quick reminder, back in the 70s and 80s, GM had 6 levels of brands. That's because way back in 1918, Alfred Sloan, the CEO of General Motors, realized that GM had too many overlapping brands that were all competing directly against each other. He created this brand positioning, with Chevrolet at the bottom being the most affordable mainstream brand and Cadillac as the top luxury brand. This worked very well for 50 years when GM had over 50% market share a long time ago. But not so good today when GM only has 17% market share, and that's why some of these brands are gone today. The G-Body models offered coupes, sedans, and wagons, but in the late 70s and early 80s, 2-door coupes were super popular. At the time, these were often referred to as personal luxury coupes. However, by the time these models came to the end of their life cycle in the late 80s, the popularity of these coupes had gone way down. Oldsmobile was, in some ways, the king of the coupes, as the Cutlass was super popular. As we saw earlier, Oldsmobile was positioned above Pontiac, but below Buick, as a near luxury model, and the G-Body Cutlass had a design that was meant to look more refined. That meant more chrome, more features, and more upscale interiors with nicer materials. The Cutlass Supreme trim level was even more upscale. The Cutlass Supreme was very popular, but not the Salon and its slant back design. These were not popular. They were killed after just a couple of years. Buick offered 2 G-Body models, with the Regal positioned as the premium model above the Century. The Regal was one of the most popular models at GM for a long time, and it was initially focused on a smooth and comfortable ride. But by mid-decade, the Regal had evolved from a luxury soft coupe into one of the most iconic muscle cars of the 1980s, thanks to the turbo V6's performance that rivaled and often beat V8s of the day. More on that coming up. The Buick Fastback, or Aeroback design as it was known, shared a body with the Oldsmobile, and these were also a failure over at the Buick side. But if you want something unique and quirky, these models are very rare. They were only made for a couple of years. For the 1980 model year, a traditional 3-box sedan and wagon version of the Century replaced these dead Aeroback models, but then the Century was short-lived. It was replaced in 1982 as a front-wheel drive platform. The G-Body coupes share so much of the same architecture that they all look pretty similar. So if trying to decide which one you like best, you should focus in on the front grille design. As we'll see in a minute, with the exception of the super expensive Buick turbo models, all engines during this era are total trash. So design is the most important aspect for most buyers. These old engines are not even worth rebuilding, and I'm totally not just saying that because I have a 250-page amazing LS Swap ebook. The 1983 to 88 Monte Carlo probably has the most futuristic front. The shovel nose 81 and up Cutlass has the most distinctive nose, and probably my favorite, especially when blacked out. The Pontiacs had a large and chunky front end design that to me looks like it's a bit stuck in the 70s, but that's not necessarily bad if you like that older style. The Regal grills are somewhat forgettable, except of course for the mean looking and now super expensive Grand National. This video is available now at my website as a free downloadable ebook. 24 pages, every page from this video, and I will add more as I gather more information. Also, if there are any errors in my video, the ebook will have the latest correct data. Pause to scan the QR code if you're watching on TV, or there is a link to the Auto ɡild website in the description below. Before we continue, I want to tell you the G-body name was only added in 1982, and it's a little confusing, so let me explain. Both the 1978 to 81 A-body and the 1982 to 87 G-body used the same chassis. Before 1982, the G-body was called the A-body. For the 1982 model year, GM changed the A-body name to G-body. But these two chassis are the same. For some reason, GM wanted to use the A-body name to refer to the new for 1982 front-wheel drive chassis. So, a 78 to 81 A-body and the 82 to 87 G-body are all really just G-bodies. When people see these cars on the road, they say G-body, so that's how I'll refer to all these years for this video. The G-body chassis is a heavily modified version of the old 1973 to 77 A-body, which we covered in my Chevelle video. Let's review engine choices. They all suck. Almost. Okay, a few cars got the sad Pontiac Iron Duke, which was hilariously also used in mail trucks of the day. It's a 4-cylinder. Most vehicles came with the V6. In this era, each brand often had its own unique engine, but sometimes engines were shared among brands too. There was even a diesel V6, although the diesel 6 and V8 had a reputation for being extremely slow, unreliable, and smoky. My 0 to 60 page is coming up, and the diesel performance times are shockingly bad. Many believe the diesel V8 of this era ruined diesel's engine reputation in the US for the decades to follow. The turbo V6s in the Buicks are of course legendary and the only good engine in this entire lineup. It made 276 horsepower in its top form, which was amazing in the mid-80s. The V8s of this era though are super sad. We covered this in detail in my History of the Small Block Chevy video. Please don't try to modify one of these for performance. You can spend a lot of money and not get much out of them since the compression is super low and the cylinder heads are very restrictive due to their small valves. It's a waste of money if you care even a little bit about performance. A better option is to swap in a LS. The LS is just the perfect swap for the G-body, and thousands of people have already done it. You can easily double, triple, or 4x your horsepower. If you've got a factory V8 in your car, it made around 150 horsepower when new. Now that it's old and tired, it's likely making like 100 horsepower. Swap in a LS for an easy 3, 4, 500 horsepower, or even more. I have more detailed information about this eBook at the end of the video, but for now let's keep going. G-body transmission options were mostly wimpy 3 and 4-speed automatics, with manual transmissions being somewhat popular in the late 70s, but by the mid-80s were almost completely gone. I also have an ebook on how to swap an 8-speed automatic transmission into your ride. I know it sounds impossible, but it fits into any vehicle and it can handle 700 horsepower in stock form. All these G-body cars shared the same chassis, frames, and suspensions. There were only minor differences among the models, usually smaller details like shock tuning and anti-sway bar sizing. This does mean that parts for these models usually are interchangeable with other G-body models. The chassis of the G-body offers 5 great features. It's rear-wheel drive, it rides on a full frame so it can handle some serious power, it's lightweight, especially by today's standards at around 3,300 pounds. These are 700 to 1,500 pounds lighter than current muscle cars and much lighter than the outgoing A-body Chevelle models they replaced. And number 4, they have coil springs in the rear instead of leaf springs. Leaf springs are terrible for any kind of performance driving. And finally, number 5, the wheel wells will take a 275 width tire in the rear and a 255 in the front. Overall size is kind of similar to a first-gen Camaro. Yes, it's 8 inches longer and 4 inches taller, but same width, same wheelbase, and same weight. The downsides of the G-body chassis are small and wimpy front disc brakes and terrible rear drum brakes. And of course, small and narrow 14-inch wheels from the factory that many models came with. Performance numbers for the late 70s and 80s cars are always terrible, with the rare and expensive exception of the Buick turbo models. Over 11 seconds to 60 for the Malibu, and 17 seconds to 60 for the diesel V8. 17 seconds would be a sad quarter-mile time, let alone a 0 to 60 time. Kids, these were sad days. Be glad you didn't experience them. But these Buick turbo models of the late 80s were insanely good for the time, as I've said, with only Porsche turbos and Ferraris being able to hang with the GNX. At the end of this video, I've got some cool images of some modded G-bodies in different styles. I think you'll see something to inspire and surprise you. Let's keep going. So performance of the G-bodies was mostly poor as mentioned, but there were some cool and unique standout models. The Monte Carlo SS had a sleek, mean-looking front fascia and some cool suspension upgrades. The Chevrolet Aero Coupe and Pontiac 2+2 had unique designs to help with high-speed aerodynamics for NASCAR racing. And as you can see from the production numbers here, they are pretty rare as well. And the Olds had special 442 models, which were sadly mostly just cosmetic styling changes. And Oldsmobile also had the hearse model. Again, it was mostly a decal package, but it did get a little bit of extra power and an insane shifter. That's coming up. Well, that's about it. No other special models worth mentioning. Just kidding. Of course, there was the Buick turbo models. Grand National GNX were the goats of the day. Blacked out performance icons of the 80s, but they go for big money now. The GNX gets my 5 unicorn score, as only 547 were made, and these GNX models sell for over $100,000, with an 8-mile original car recently selling for over $300,000. And even regular Grand Nationals go for $40,000 to $60,000. There are so many possibilities with the G-Body. Here are just a few. Let me know in the comments which number of these 8 styles is your favorite. As some of you know, I'm more of a pro touring guy. I really love this white one, as I really like those chunky taillights and the stance. Oh, and if you can budget for it, get a G-Body with T-tops. It's just so 1980s cool. Whether you want a show car, street cruiser, track performer, G-Body offers a solid foundation to build it your way. It's a rare platform that truly has something for everyone. I know many of you love sleepers. Some of the G-Body cars really have that boxy look that just makes them perfect sleeper candidates. And the lightweight chassis is really good for drag racing too, with that full frame. Okay, 3 strange features of this era. Number 1, the rear windows don't roll down on G-Body sedans. The 78 to 83 Malibu sedan and any other 4-door models, windows do not roll down. Some say it was cost-cutting, some say GM wanted to sell more air conditioning units, and others say it was to add interior room by making the doors thinner. I imagine there were even customers who bought one of these without sitting in the back seat. What a surprise when they got home and realized the windows don't roll down, especially if they had kids or a dog. The rear quarter vents did open though. Strange feature number 2, the lightning rod shifter. This shifter was an option on a few automatic cars. It allowed the driver to upshift manually without accidentally upshifting into an additional gear. It was inspired by drag racing shifters of the day. The main shifter was for regular driving, and the other 2 levers were to manually control the 1-2 shift and the 2-3 shift. It's an iconic collectible quirk of this G-Body era. These cars actually catch pretty good money, I think mostly due to this conversation starter of a shifter. And it's also pretty rare, only being used for a few years. I personally have never seen one. The number 3 strange feature are these amazing red pillow seats from a 1979 Pontiac Grand Le Mans, but so many G-Body cars had something similar. Pillow seats were a hallmark of American luxury that at the time was totally focused on maximum comfort and nothing else, especially in mid-size models like the G-Body cars here, but even more so in full-size models and Cadillacs. These seats feature overstuffed cushions with button-tufted upholstery, often wrapped in plush velour cloth like seen here. It's as if someone lifted a lazy boy chair right out of your living room. With zero performance from the stock engines, luxury and ride comfort were big selling points back then. And to Detroit, luxury meant isolation from the road and maximum plushness. Today they're a nostalgic reminder of when car interiors prioritize comfort and style over cornering support. If you prefer this soft cushy seat setup over more supportive seats, please let me know why in the comments. Does your G-Body need an LS swap? Or do you just want to learn more about the LS engine to maybe do a swap one day? I want you to know that my 250-page LS Swap Survival Guide ebook is here to help, and it's available now at autogild.com. You may be wondering, is it any good? No, it's amazing. See the testimonials from viewers like you who have already bought my ebook at the bottom of this page. All ebooks are available at autogild.com. I also have an ebook and soon videos on how to swap a modern 8-speed automatic transmission into any classic car. For real, I'm serious. This thing is the same size as a Turbo 400 or 4L80, and it has 8 speeds and holds 700 horsepower in stock form, and it fits in any car. This is another swap that's absolutely taking off right now. These transmissions are now super common and easy to swap, since they come in modern Chargers, Challengers, Wranglers, Jeep Cherokees, etc. Most people don't even know about this yet, and this transmission is actually totally bulletproof. Some are running 1,000 horsepower through this stock, and 8 speeds will make your car faster. AutoGild is bringing you the best and newest car mods. No other swap book exists for this transmission. Buy it now to take your ride to the next level. If your car runs hot, or you just want to eliminate overheating worries, there's another new swap gaining popularity: installing a modern brushless cooling fan in your classic or older car. These fans have no downsides. They're way more powerful, more efficient, quieter, and cheaper. Brushless fans are relatively new to the market, and until recently, there weren't affordable controllers for them. Now there are, and I found a powerful, budget-friendly controller that makes this an easy upgrade. I'll never build another car without one of these fans, and after you see the video, you'll understand why. Used OEM brushless fans cost far less than aftermarket setups, so the $25 price of this ebook could save you hundreds of dollars while giving you the best cooling system possible. Powerful, efficient, and completely customizable. For those of you that guessed, the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme was the best-selling car in the US for 2 years. It must be that shovel-nose style. Thank you for watching Auto Guild, and good luck with your project.